Hi students, today's class is about batch processing and continuous process. So in this first unit, so far we have seen the introduction about process control and what is the need for process control, what is the requirement of process control, and what do you mean by stability and how to suppress the disturbances. And also we have seen the basic structure and we have analyzed two important systems, liquid level systems and temperature systems. So in that we have derived the mathematical modeling and we have derived the response of that particular systems. Then we have seen the elements of process dynamics like we have listed the parameters, that parameters, how it impact the process dynamics. So those parameters also we have discussed. Then degrees of freedom. Okay, the last topic of this unit is batch process and continuous process. So let us take these two examples. So if you compare these two, in the first set, only once we have given the raw material, then we can remove the product. We can take the product here also, we can take the product. Okay, but here there is no raw material, only once we have given. Whereas in this case, we are feeding the raw material in all the stages. Okay, then we can take a product from here, here, here. Okay, but here at the end only we can take the product, but here we can take the product at each unit. Okay, so when you compare these two, so since the raw material is not continuously fed, so this is called as batch process, but here the raw material is continuously fed, so this is called as continuous process. So a process that is not in continuous or mass production, because this is not a mass production, operations are carried out with discrete quantities. Okay, so only a little quantity, and then with that the product, we can get the product, or limited number of items. Whereas in continuous process, continuously receive the raw materials and process them to the completed unit. So this is the difference between batch and the continuous process. So let us discuss the advantages. So regarding batch process, we know that it is a discrete quantity. So it is good for small amounts. Suppose if we take any pharmaceutical industry, so just take this is a reactor. So we have to put all those ingredients like A ingredient, B ingredient, C ingredient, D ingredient. From this you will get one O ingredient. So that's it. So this is a batch process. So only once it fed, and then it has to be maintained with the proper climatic conditions and properly sealed. And then after some time you can take the product. That's it. So this is good for small amounts. So if you want to have a small amount, then you can go for it. But if you want a mass production, then batch process not a best choice. So it is good. So this is one advantage. For small amount, we can use batch process. Then we can make a range of products using same equipment. So if once we do that, we can clean it, then we can use the same equipment for another thing. For example, if I want to make a paste, toothpaste, so I can use this component. Or if I want, so in this paste, there are different variety like Red Bull, sorry, Dabur Red, Colgate, and then Pepsodent. So I can use the same equipment to produce different products. Okay, so that is the advantage of this batch process, and we can schedule maintenance and inspections between batches. That is, once it is done, we can maintain means if there is any leak or if there is any deposit, so that kind of maintenance can be done, and if there is inspection also can be done easily between batches. So once it is done, we can check it. Once it is ready only, we can go for another batch process. So we can easily schedule it and we can do the inspection. Then it is good for developing new products. Okay, because it's not that much costlier. If you want to try new products, we can use batch process. Then easier to scale. That is, if you first you can do with the lab scale, then we can easily modify into the different scale. I mean the next level. Then generally cheaper setup cost. Okay, because it does not involve more cost. And then in the employees, any employee, any layman can understand this process. So these are the advantages of the batch process. Okay, then disadvantages in the sense. So here because the cleaning time between the batches is because you're going to use the same equipment for different products. So cleaning time is somehow it's a disadvantage. And then maybe batch to batch variability, because from one batch to another batch we are changing the product. That is also maybe cause some discomfort. And then it is not good for bulk production. And then a frequent startup and shutdown, because for example, in 1 hour, this product will be ready. Then again, you have to clean. Then again, you have to go for second product. Again, you have. So in a day, we can complete at least four batch process. So 4 times we have to start up, we have to shut down, we have to clean, uh, and then these are the variables. So these are the disadvantages. Okay, so let us move to the advantages of continuous process. The best one is it is for large volume, so mass productions. And then fewer startup and shutdown means, suppose if you take any paper industry or sugar industry or cement industry, usually once in 6 months only they do this shutdown. Okay, once they do the shutdown, and then they take care of everything, maintenance, inspection, everything they do in once in 6 months. Whereas in batch process, once in 2 hours, once in 3 hours. So that is the advantage of this. Okay, then potentially greater yields, will get more product. And then easy to maintain the quality or spot out the specific product sooner. Okay, so these are the advantages. Disadvantages is, so requires since it is a big one, since you take nearly 6 months to check it whether it is working properly, so sometimes it is a problematic, because for example, if you take this heat exchange, so this is a tube in that you're going to pass hot water. So we can't suppose if we wait for 6 months means, this in this tube, the so I mean, three-fourth of the tube is deposited with that ash or deposited with salt. Okay, so in that case, we feel that okay, frequent maintenance is important. So this is the problem in that. And then it may rely on critical piece of equipment, which are the potential stop production or a whole plant. Suppose if there is any problem in that, then the whole production has to be stopped. So that's a disadvantage. Then it's a higher initial cost. And then the employees' knowledge, I mean the layman cannot understand this process. So these are the disadvantages. So the advantages of batch process becomes the disadvantage of continuous process, and the disadvantage of batch process becomes the advantage of continuous process. So we'll see some examples. So this is the example for a continuous process. So here heat exchanger. So heat exchanger, I said, like this is a tube in that. So likewise, we have many heat exchangers. So this is not a batch like, because it is continuously the raw material is fed. Continuously, it has to transfer the heat. So this is a continuous process. And then in this chemical reactor, continuously we are feeding the reactants. Continuously we are taking the product. So it is not a batch one. And then here combustion process. So here the crude oil is given, and then fuel plus air is for combustion. So after this, we'll get different products. So it's continuously we can extract the products. Here also in distillation column has many plates in this. So if you give the feed, then actually it has liquid and vapor. The vapor passes up and then liquid comes down. Then again we have to heat the liquid and fed as input to this. Here also take the vapor, cool it and fed it. So likewise we can keep on, if you do this, so we'll get some different temperature. The temperature, at the temperature we'll get different products. So the products are continuously taken. So these are the examples for continuous process. And then examples for batch processes. So here once the feed is given, then so this is the so this is the stirrer. Here is the stirrer. Then once we stir it, we'll get the product. That's it. So after a few hours, we have to change. We have to change the different ingredients to get different product. So here also, suppose see in paper industry, we have to get the fibers from that. For that, we have to digest this wood chips. So we need steam and the sodium hydroxide process. So this is a batch process. And then here, if you take any PCB, I have to remove the circuit. So for that, I need etching. So that PCB should be kept here. And then here is the etching gas. And then some gases are used to remove this. And then the remaining the spent gases or the waste metal can be removed. So this is a batch process. It's not a continuous because once you keep the wafer, after some time it will be removed, remove the wafer. Then you can go for another one. So likewise, we can vary it. And then here, this is a dialysis unit. So here comes the impure blood. Here's the purified blood. So this is the medium. So we can pass the medium to remove the impurities from that. So this is also batch process. So in this class, we have learned what is batch, what is continuous process, what are the advantages and disadvantages. So that's all about the first unit. I'll stop here today. So we have gone through the first unit. In the next class, I'll start with the second unit. Thank you.